144.
Stay here with you. You are a rainbow, so I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. Same. Your love is constant. You've never lost it. Your voice is calling out my name. It makes me miss you, even when I'm with you. Oh, nobody wants to go it alone, and I just wanna stay here with you. So I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and the Speed Lane is where we talk about issues that affect our lives, our communities, and even our society at large. It's Wednesday, the 27th day of May, 2026. And first of all, happy Children's Day, to every child listening to us right now. Today is a special day set aside, to celebrate Children's Day, their growth, their welfare, their dreams, and their future. And because of that, we are going to be talking about children today. Children as leaders of tomorrow. Now, from primary school days, many of us grew up hearing that statement, children are the leaders of tomorrow. There are even songs about it in school. But the question is, if children are truly the leaders of tomorrow, how are we preparing them today? Because leadership does not suddenly appear tomorrow morning. It starts from childhood, the morals, the values, the discipline, education, confidence, and examples children grow up can shape the kind of adults they become in future. For example, are we teaching children honesty? Are we teaching them respect? Are we teaching them kindness, responsibility and contentment? Are we teaching them to think for themselves and then make good decisions? And for the children listening today, you also can call in to be part of the show. Everyone call in and be part of the show. How are we raising children to be leaders of tomorrow? How are we preparing them? When we say leaders of tomorrow, it doesn't just happen, right? So how are we actually preparing our children to be leaders of tomorrow? What is that important thing that you teach your child? That another child out there should also get to hear, or even a parent who is not doing that might hear for you and maybe start doing that. And also children, what is it that what makes you a good leader? What are you learning that you believe will make you a good leader of tomorrow? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. This is the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about children as the leaders of tomorrow. We keep saying children are the leaders of tomorrow. They are the leaders of the future. But then how are we preparing them to actually become those leaders? Parents, teachers, guardians, and children. Today's conversation is for everybody, because when it has to do with children, well, even the adults are now involved. So how are we preparing children to become leaders of tomorrow? How are you preparing your child? What are those things that you teach to your children, about different things about life, or anything at all that you believe would lead? Hello? All right, you can still call us back to be part of the show, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. We are talking about our children, well, because it's Children's Day, and we are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. Hello? Okay, you can still call back to be part of the show, because we cannot hear you. And tell us, as a child, whether as an adult, as a parent yourself, how are you training them to be leaders of tomorrow? Because one thing that is important is whatever they do today, or whatever they are being taught today, that is what they are going to show us tomorrow, right? Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Okay, you can still call us back. This is the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. We keep hearing that. We even have, songs about it concerning children are leaders of tomorrow. But how are we preparing children to become leaders of tomorrow? As a parent, as a teacher, as a guardian, the children themselves, what is actually happening? What is the training that we are getting, that we are given to become those leaders of tomorrow? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and let us hear what you think. How are we raising our children? How are we preparing them to become leaders of tomorrow? Hello? Okay, you can still call us back. Do not give up. Keep trying. And we're also streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. So if you cannot put your call through, or if you're struggling to do that, you can watch live and then leave a comment right on Facebook, and we would see it. Now, when we talk about preparing children for the future, many things come into it. Hello? Many things come into it. One important thing is that proper upbringing at home, right? Because no matter how good society becomes, the home is still where many children first learn behavior and values, right? Hello? The home is where many children first learn behavior and values. I mean, even things like education is also important, and not only classroom education, but teaching children how to maybe even communicate, or how to treat others, and how to solve problems responsibly. Because these leaders of tomorrow, they don't just wake up and then become those leaders. Something is taught to them. They have to know something. They are learning something, before they actually become those leaders of tomorrow. So how are we preparing them for that? What are we actually doing? Hello? And even for the children. Hello? Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, nice listening to your program. My name is John. I'm calling you from Hangeior.
All right, welcome to the show, John.
Okay, and this is a very exciting program. And on this day, first, let me wish all the children born in this world a happy Children's Day celebration. Pray citizens and look forward to being leaders of tomorrow.
Mm.
Having said that, and having congratulated them, one of the first things I want to speak about is peer influence. If you want to be a leader of tomorrow, you
Mm.
can only be influenced by the positive things of life, by your peers and all that. You
Mm.
should not, look up to the standards of others, but you have to stick to what your parental upbringing is. And I'm sure that every parent, at
Mm.
least the ones that are here, bring up children to really see how they can take responsibility tomorrow.
Mhm.
And one of the things that is really getting children distracted today is even like the social media, especially.
Mhm.
And parents, some of them are quite responsible because if you allow children to get addicted to social media, you
Mm.
give even children who are not supposed to have, phones, and you introduce them to phones, and then they think, oh, it's a thing of being up to date, and is a pride to some parents.
Mhm.
Oh, my child is in SS3, and I've given the child a phone. You
Mm.
don't have to do that. Even if you do that, you're exposing them to things that will distract them rather than looking at things that they will be, leaders of tomorrow. The
Okay.
one critical thing we must do as parents is good example. If
Mm.
we live in a family where it is chaotic, mother and father fighting in front of children,
Mhm.
mother and father not even explaining the source of wealth,
Mhm.
how will this child come out to understand that yes, these are principles of families. So
Mm.
families being fundamental to bringing up children who will be leaders of tomorrow. Leadership starts from home, whether we like it or not. Teachers
Okay.
can only supplement. So parents must ensure that they're living good example for the children. And
Mhm.
above all, just to say that the government must be intentional in
Mhm.
bringing up programs and also in schools that, when we're growing up, there were programs in schools that ordinarily they will give you that authority, give you that leadership skills or introduce you to leadership there. So
Mm.
our standard of education must tilt to, being intentional in bringing up children to take up responsibility while they're here as children and
Mhm.
ensure that they are looking up tomorrow. They'll take
Mm.
up after.
Mm.
And of course, the other thing is most parents now they over pamper children. All children will not be corrected. Children have to be corrected for them to be good leaders tomorrow. So
Mhm.
let me not take much of your time, but I just want to say that if those key principles, are instilled in our children,
Mhm.
good example, being disciplined, making sure that sincerity and honesty is the ultimate thing.
Mhm.
Children definitely, when they grow up, they'll grow up with that spirit of leadership, and of
All
course,
right.
our society will for it. Have a
Mhm.
lovely day.
All right. You too. Thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this morning. And this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. And we are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. It's Children's Day. And well, let's talk about children because they are important to us. And then they are leaders of tomorrow, just like we know. So, how are we preparing children to be leaders of tomorrow? Children, what do you know about being a leader of tomorrow? What have you been taught, maybe in school, maybe your parents? What are you doing yourself? And also for the parents, guardians, teachers, what are we actually doing to prepare our children to become leaders of tomorrow? Because leaders don't just wake up and be leaders. It started from somewhere. So you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Let us hear what you have to say. We are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow and how we are actually preparing them to become those leaders of tomorrow we keep talking about. And you can also join in live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi and leave a comment if you're finding it difficult to call. And we got this comment from Niba Tumanenge, and he says, good morning to you all at Speed FM at the Spy Center, Makudi, Benue State, Nigeria. I'm here just to say Happy Children's Day celebration. Speedy more. Okay. Thank you for leaving that comment for the children out there. I'm sure they appreciate. So you also can call in to be part of the show, and it's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. Children as leaders of tomorrow. How are we preparing them to become these leaders of tomorrow? Because it's not just about saying it, it's about how it's actually coming out, what we are doing to make sure that it actually happens. And then we heard from John, and he says, Happy Children's Day, to all the children out there. And he mentioned some of the things when it comes to preparing children to become leaders of tomorrow. He mentions peer influence as one of the things that is very important. Trying to know the kind of people that your children, the kind of other children, your children are actually around, whether they are going to influence them in a good way or a bad way. It becomes you as a parent to actually know that. And even a child, if you open their eyes to see what is bad, then they know that, okay, this is someone I shouldn't be associating myself with. And then he mentions that distractions is something that we must beat. Different kind of distractions, something that we must not ignore. Maybe even social media at tender ages, making them to be distracted from what they should actually be doing. And then he mentions being a good example as a parent yourself, because the leadership starts at home, being that example. So your kid looks up to you and say that, okay, daddy is an honest man, so I have to become an honest man as well. Daddy never lies, mommy never does this, so I am looking up to this person to become like them as well. They know these things and they copy these things. So being a good example is also very important. And he mentioned, government bringing up programs that are intentional for in helping children become those leaders that would actually help them, to take responsibility, prepare their minds for it, and not just think of it as it's just to pass exams and then go home. And he also mentioned correction, instead of over pampering. We have said this, over pampering, and then forgetting to correct a child when necessary. If we take responsibility, as parents, and then correct these children, then we are training good leaders of tomorrow. This is a speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. You also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. How are you preparing your children to become leaders of tomorrow? What are the small things, those important things that you teach them to make sure that they become someone good, tomorrow, in future, someone that you can be proud of, someone that you can say, okay, even this one leads the country, if this one leads this place, then it's going to be in safe hands. What are we actually doing? Because if we say they are our leaders, it's on us now to actually put the things that we want to manifest later in them. So how are we doing it? And even the children, you can call in. It's your day today, and tell us about it, how you are becoming a leader of tomorrow. What have you been taught, whether from school, from home? What do you know about becoming that good leader for tomorrow's sake? It's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning. It's the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this morning. Let us hear what you think. Now, when we talk about preparing children for the future, many things come into it. One important thing is proper upbringing at home, which as someone even mentioned, because no matter how good society becomes, the home is still where many children first learn behavior and values. Hello? The home is still where many children learn behavior and then values. And education is also important, and not only classroom education, but teaching children how to communicate, how to treat others, how to solve problems responsibly. Children also need confidence, they need guidance. Some children are intelligent, but they are too afraid to express themselves because they were never encouraged to speak up respectfully or even being heard. Like, if you pay attention to them, then okay, what this child is communicating, you're able to then assist, you're able to guide, you're able to correct where necessary, right? And another thing is that responsibility. So small responsibilities at home that can help children to learn accountability and even discipline from an early age. So what are you doing, parents? How are you raising these children to become leaders of tomorrow? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. We are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. So what are we doing, as their parents, as people who are there to guide them, people who are there to teach them? What are we doing to make sure that they grow up as good leaders of tomorrow? Because it's not just about saying, oh, children are the ones who will take over tomorrow. They are the leaders of tomorrow. What we put in them today, right, is what is going to show up tomorrow. If we put in the bad ones, well, we expect to see the bad ones tomorrow. And then if we put in the good ones, well, we would be expecting, because you cannot harvest what you didn't plant, right? So let us hear what you think. Now, children today are growing up in a very different world from before. Many children spend a lot of time, online, on social media, just like someone mentioned, and sometimes the internet has become their biggest teacher instead of parents or schools or the direct people around them. There is also that peer pressure. Some children feel, to follow trends or behave a certain way just to fit in. But that is exactly why they have their pillars here, which are the parents, which are the teachers, the people around them who can tell them, okay, this is wrong, this is right, this is what you should be doing, this isn't what you should do, different things like that. So let us hear from you this morning on the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this morning. Hello. Hello. All right. Maybe call us back and then speak up louder so we can hear you. And it's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. We are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. So let us hear, how are we raising our children? How are you raising your children to become good leaders of tomorrow? Because everyone says that, well, then what are we actually doing to make sure that it comes up the way that we are expecting? Call in and let us hear from you. Children, you can also call in, if you're listening right now, ask your mommy to put a call through for you, ask your dad, ask someone around to put a call through for you, and tell us how you intend to be that good leader of tomorrow, or how you're actually being brought up to become a good leader of tomorrow. And it's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. You can call in to be part of the show this morning. Now, raising future leaders is not only the responsibility of the parents alone, right? Parents are the first teachers, quite okay, but schools, teachers, and society also play major roles in shaping children. How are we living, as the adult, the examples that we are setting to make sure that, okay, the children around us, sometimes it seems like they are not paying attention, but they are looking. And you find yourself asking questions like, how is a child like this able to learn something like this? It's because maybe they're probably seeing it on an adult, portraying that kind of behavior, which is why they also are doing something like that. And even teachers help shape discipline, communication, and even learning habits. So how intentional are we? Apart from just singing it in a song, we are the leaders of tomorrow, children are the leaders of tomorrow. There is a song that goes like that. Maybe it's a child who is in school right now, you will know that song, but I'm sure that song has gone across for generations. So many children, so many people as children they had to sing that we are the leaders of tomorrow. So let us hear from you this morning on the speed lane. It's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and tell us what values you are instilling in your child, what you're teaching them to ensure that they become good leaders of tomorrow, or what you're doing, to make sure that they become those leaders that we actually talk about all the time. And that is why I said society also influences children, through public behavior, maybe entertainment and even media. And that is why role models are also very important, because children learn not only from instructions but also from examples. If your dad is your role model, if your dad is a child's role model, then they are looking up to what that dad does. They are looking at the behavior, what that dad actually does, and they would say, maybe I want to grow up and become like my dad one day. And I want to grow up and become like my mom one day. I want to become like this auntie, like this uncle. But then what of when that auntie or that uncle, or when that dad or mom is not having the right kind of behavior on, then it just seems like, okay, that child is going to copy something that is not okay, right? So preparing children for tomorrow is not only about correcting them, but also guiding, encouraging, and even understanding them. That is listening, because some persons feel like, when it comes to children, there is actually maybe nothing that they can say that would sound better than what an adult will say. But if you listen and then you get the point that are actually coming from, then you're able to tell if this is a situation I have to correct something, if this is where I have to protect, if this is where I have to do something to make sure that my child is safe. And the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. This is the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. You can call in to be part of this conversation and share with us how you are raising your children to become leaders of tomorrow. Call in and let us hear from you. And even the children, tell us how your parents are doing it, or maybe even the school, something that you learn, you have been learning maybe from school when it comes to that leadership, becoming a good leader. Let us hear what you know, because as we celebrate Children's Day today, let it not just be another Children's Day that just passes by and then nothing is learned, nothing is intentional, or it's just like a normal one and then we just play about it. How about becoming more intentional about the things that even the children are receiving? Because parents will tell you that is our investment. Society, the investment is the children, right? They are the ones who grow up and then become something, to maybe change some things that are not okay, or to continue with good line. But if they are not raised properly to become those good leaders, then we know that we end up in a bad society as well. So keep your calls coming through. It's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the speed line on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. We are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. So how are we raising them to become leaders of tomorrow? And even for the children, you can tell us what you are being taught, or things that you have been told. Hello? Okay, we lost that, but you can still call in to be part of the show, and it's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in on the show to be part of it this morning. It's the speed lane, or leave a comment on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM and tell us what you're doing, as a parent, someone that is in charge of a child, to make sure that they become those good leaders of tomorrow. Because it's not just about talking about it anymore, like saying it, they are the future leaders, they are this, they are that. So what are we doing? What is the investments that we are actually making to make sure that they turn out as the right leaders that we are looking for? The kind of morals, the kind of discipline, the kind of education, the confidence, the examples that children receive right now, can even influence the kind of leaders, the kind of workers, even the kind of parents. Because when we talk about leadership, it's not just maybe leadership when it comes to a country, leadership when it comes to a state. It could even be in a family, leading a family, leading small things, and what do they do when they become those leaders if they are not being taught some of those values or some of those things that are truly important, the principles, just like someone mentioned, then he becomes a bad leader, not the kind of leader that people are hoping for. So if we are hoping for something, then we have to be putting the right kind of values in them, right? So what values, what do you teach your children to make sure that they become those good leaders of tomorrow? And it's 08084 for asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Both children and adults, what do you think is important in raising good leaders of tomorrow? Call in and let us hear from you. The things that you actually do right now. And then some of the things that may try to block, this training or make children to become not the good leaders that we are talking about here. We spoke about distraction that they receive even from schools. If it's not mindful, a child might be going to school and then you just take it, oh, they're going to school, it's sure that they are learning. But even if the teachers there do not make it intentional, like, okay, I have to make sure that in every aspect it's not just I just come and teach and then go out, but make sure that they are not facing those distractions. Hello,
good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm John. I'm calling from Akoni.
All right, welcome to the show, John.
Thank you very much. I think the major challenge we have in this era is parents not prioritizing the training of their children. It's something that we're leaving too much to chance. And whatever you are doing, they are not so deliberate about. Result will show that this is not so important. Now we leave a lot that these children need to pick to the society. Parents assume that the church and the school taking care of certain things. The school assume that the church and the parents are taking care of the same things, and that's how it goes around. Meanwhile, these children are exposed to a lot of information and influences here and there that they pick whatever they can lay their hands on. So, first point, very important, is to be deliberate about children upbringing. And deliberate means having a plan, not just putting children in schools, good schools and paying heavy money. There are school children that have been maybe performing very, very well academically, yet they become failures because of values, negative values that come and influence what becomes of them. So it's drawing a plan. Let's go to the nitty-gritty. For instance, during holidays, I have what is will be encouraged so much, say, holiday lessons, or some children actually stay at home. These are moments for them, great moments of molding. Their parents are now taking advantage of. Some out of trying to have so much time for their job, work, and all the rest, they just put the children away somewhere. It's not cool, because these children pick values that are not. See, tomorrow these kids, it's what they learn on the field, what they learn in the society that molds them. People have first class and are not able to explore the society. We're seeing them every day. They are well-trained doctors and lawyers that I know you can see they are not able to explore the society. So there are values left. Values like hard work, values of financial intelligence, values like putting your hands to work and getting value, values like understanding. See, let me digress a bit. The average girl child in a society now has so much dependency mindset that no matter how you expose some girls to opportunity, they prefer a man to go and do and give them something from it. It's a mindset, and that exposes a lot of people to vulnerabilities and abuse. Most of the abuse is because people turn and look at you, you don't have substance much around you, so you can mess up and do anything you want to do. It's a value system. Now, if you train a girl child, go create it and wide you as an entity for a very important purpose on this earth. You are a celebrity in your own right, so you must arm yourself to become that thing. That lady may hardly be a waste. It applies to the male children too. You bring a male child with a lot of ego without value being attached to it. Tomorrow he will become one proud man that is empty.
Okay.
So you must let them understand the place of value. Putting your hands to work and getting something back is important. So I don't encourage any idle time for any child. If you go to Abuja, I have one or two friends that are big people up there. And I discovered a trend recent times. During holiday, they push other children to go and learn skills. There are books you expose them to read at different age grades. So you must be deliberate about it. You get it right. The children go to church. Just like come and do homework there. Come and sit with them. What did you learn in church today? Deliberate with them about it. You must prioritize children upbringing and be deliberate about it. It's a major challenge I see. And even our curricula is part of the problem. Schools are giving curricula that is a minimum standard. So the additions to it are what is lacking. It starts from primary across the universities. And universities are just, that's why you see graduates are coming out, and I've been privileged to be on interview panels. You will talk to them. Some of them you employ. You see you doing so much for them to get integrated into society. There's a disconnect. And that linkage needs to be there properly. So we keep talking. Let universities devise ways of garnering from the practical experiences to students before they leave. There must be deliberate, like in final year. The children should have this IT they go for. Final year or so. It's not just enough. There should be a way of get chief executives and people who are doing businesses. Those who are even failed. Those who won't fail have a story to tell. Bring them. Let them come and interface with these people. Teach them how to write memos, business plans, what to expect, how to behave when you meet, go for business negotiation, how to behave when you meet the wealthy, how to behave when you enter office, people's offices, even communication. You see a young man sitting and talking to an elderly person or more influential person, and he's still talking, touching his phone. These are values that matter. Or you see, it's common to find the Gen Z generation just come past adults and not even say hi, even in offices. Then you expect that child to get favor. So it's about value system, about being deliberate and prioritizing children upbringing. That is not being done. And when you don't do it, you're only postponing a doomsday. Instead of now grooming your child and be to an extent certain about where he's going, you pretend nothing is existing. Let me tell you, tomorrow you'll be a visitor to rehabs. You'll be a victim of pain and shame. There are big men here that have their children. I know one or two families. They're ashamed of children coming here. Someone came and put their children here, far away from here, so people will not see the shame. But most times, it's the parents that are to blame. But parents don't like to hear that. I have a family, let me rest here, a family where they were trying to send a child abroad. And I'm close to the advice and say, sir, if you ask me, there's a 50-50 chance. Let your child finish the university here. He's already an adult. But a small boy of 16 you're taking abroad to go and study, you have a problem. There's a tendency that they go wild. They become the peak values that make them not achieve that essence, that value you're trying to instill in them. Let him graduate, he can go abroad and do anything. And you see that the failure rate is so reduced, if not zero, for those who are graduating and going abroad. So if you're not sure of the character of your child, and your child does not have a mentor there to guide him, there's no need. The wife insisted, no, it's pride now. My child wants to go to US, this and that. Eventually they send the child abroad. I was the one to that child to help eventually. After 6 years without a certificate. So yes, so the ego and the carelessness we were bringing up children pretend, and when we tell them, they see as if you're just accusing their children unfairly, but you pay the price. So be objective about it, prioritize children upbringing. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this morning, John. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. You also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Children as leaders of tomorrow. How are we bringing up our children to become good leaders of tomorrow? Because we keep having hope for the future. They will turn out to be this. They are going to turn out to be leadership at different levels. But what are we actually putting in them? What is the investment that you are expecting them to turn out to be something good, something great tomorrow? And we heard from John, and he spoke about first he mentioned that all the levels of all the people that are involved when it comes to training a child to become a great person tomorrow, both the parents, the schools, the church, different places that children are actually taken to and expected to learn from. Everyone is expecting, you go to the church and they tell you, well, your parents should teach you this. The school is expecting the parents to do this. The parents are expecting the teachers to do this. So if everyone actually makes it intentional to actually teach these things at different levels wherever they find themselves, then we'll find it becoming effective. And he emphasized on values so much, the kind of values that we instill when it comes to children. And he mentioned things like training them with a skill, making sure that they become creative. He mentioned books at different levels. For every child, at a certain level, there is a book for them, at a certain level. So are they reading those things, or they are faced with other distractions that they shouldn't be faced with on other levels? He also calls on schools, when it comes to being intentional, not just coming to drop, I have said everything, no practicals, no anything that they are actually able to tell, and the children are actually able to tell and then copy. This is what we are talking about, this is what it means, this is how to become that creative. And those practical experiences, even up to the university levels, and then making sure that they are actually coming out with something and not just it's on paper, but then there is no project, there is nothing that they can show that this is what I have achieved, this is what I can do with my hands. And even communication, he spoke about communication as well, even when it comes to respect, when it comes to value, some of the things that will make that child to even appear serious, to appear even as intelligent out there. He gave an example of maybe talking to someone, talking to a child, and then they are busy on their phone while talking to you. Some of these things that people would tag as, this person is not serious, this person cannot work well in this place, or this person will not be able to add value to this place. Some of those things that actually speak for themselves. So John says to pay attention to this, and we would come up with those good leaders of tomorrow that we keep talking about. It's not just about talking about, no, they are going to become a good leader tomorrow. What are we doing right now? What are we pouring in to make sure that they become the exact leaders that we are talking about? So you can still call in quickly and be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. We are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. So what are we doing? Whether teachers, whether schools, whether the parents or even the children themselves, you can call in and let us know what you are doing to make sure that we become leaders of tomorrow. And it's not just in a song, it's not just in words anymore, but it actually becomes reality. Call in and let us hear from you. And it's 08084 for asking. That's 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in quickly and let us hear from you. Before we go, we are talking about children as leaders of tomorrow. It's Children's Day, 27th of May 2026, and it's not just a day that should just pass by. It's a day to actually be reminded of why those children are in your life in the first place and what you want them to become in the future, to grow up into, so you don't go on maybe regretting and having things to maybe cry about. Because if you put the right things there, then you're sure that in the future the right things are going to come up. So that is it for the speed lane this morning. I hope you've had a wonderful time here with us so far. Happy Children's Day to all the children out there. Once again, we have been talking about children as leaders of tomorrow, the kind of morals, discipline, education, confidence, and examples children receive right now, how we are actually doing it. And I've been with you on the speed lane. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. Coming up next at 10 a.m. after the news is King James 90s Top 10 right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And until then, keep enjoying music of your life, and don't forget to remember that the way we raise children today will speak true society tomorrow.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM. Radio is magic.